Good morning, France, and welcome back to FMO News. This is Leo Fisher, in for some breaking news. If you have just joined us, then you have missed a lot. Heating up in the middle of our majestic Capitol building, Elysee Palace, is a fiery argument between the Al-Qaeda group and the French government. Although past encounters between the Al-Qaeda and the French government have not been prettiest at the slightest, it looks like members of these two associations are even more worked up today. Let's turn over to Hugo Valdez to see how the action is heating up in the middle of our nation's capital.
Leo, as I've explained before, France and Al-Qaeda have a bad history together, constantly arguing and engulfing the whole nation into their intense conflict. Ever since the Al-Qaeda and France clashed in their first fight, several members of both groups, as well as numerous citizens, have spilled their blood in the midst of this feud. But all of this violence is minimal compared to what we have today, as a representative from Al-Qaeda, Mohammed Shire, has traveled all the way from the Elysee Palace to personally negotiate with both President Rodrigue and Prime Minister Maurice a compromise. Mohammed has finally agreed to give back 4 of France's hostages peacefully. Will this meeting truly end peacefully like Mohammed promised, or will more innocent souls be lost? Let's watch the action unfold straight from inside the president's office.
I understand how much these worthless hostages mean, so I'm willing to extend a harmless offer. All 4 of these hostages will be yours for a return of a mere 25 million euro award. If you fail to contend this, I will kill all 4 of these innocent souls right in front of you.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me.
You know as well as I do that accepting such rents and bribes is against our country's code of law. Perhaps another offer is in order.
Very well then, my final offer is this. France's precious president, Rodrigue Marcel, and I will engage into a duel of death. If I win, I get to keep the hostages and take a 50 million euros. But if you win, the hostages are yours to keep free of charge, and Al-Qaeda will never bother you again.
It's a deal.
No, I forbid this kind of violence anymore. We have fought long enough involving everyone in our feud. This ends here. I will no longer engage in any more violence with you.
Then you would rather see these hostages tortured.
If that's the risk I have to take, I'll accept it.
No! Enough people have died in the Al-Qaeda's foolish hand. If you shall spill any more blood, it shall be mine.
I don't mind whom I fight, as long as I receive my money.
Here's your incentive, you selfish swine.
Very well, Maurice. I'll kill you instead.
Then come, sir. Draw out your weapon.
No, I forbid this kind of violence in my office. We have fought long enough, involving everyone in our feud. Maurice, please, think of what you're doing for once.
He somehow got me. That villainous thief cheated me. I demand a rematch!
No, you must stay here. I will find you a doctor.
Oh, I'm afraid it's too late. I can already feel my vision getting darker as all the blood leaks out of my body.
No, we must at least try.
It's no use. Just you let me go. All I ask of you is to bring an end to the Al-Qaeda's massive destruction. Fulfill this, and let me die a happy man.
No. This man who's not only my prime minister, but my partner, my assistant, my greatest help. Your death shall not go unpunished, as all of France will grieve your death. I will seek revenge for you, Maurice Baru, or I will die trying. Ha! I found you! Your sin shall not go unpunished.
I see you're back for more. Too bad I don't want to fight you, as I already have my money.
Well, I'll offer you a proposal you cannot refuse. As Maurice's soul is only a little way above our heads. One of us has to accompany him. I offer you a duel to the death. If you win, you get to take everything I own, as well as my position as president of France. But if I win, I get to take back our rightful money and permanently disband Al-Qaeda.
Very well then, I accept your proposal. It'd be much easier to kill you than your worthless prime minister.
Wish you never said that. avenged you, Maurice. The Al-Qaeda shall end their destructive ways just like you wished. Rest in peace up there, my friend.
Oh, what a lamentable sight to behold. Many innocent souls have sadly lost their life today, including our respectable Prime Minister. But through the darkness of the death and blood of this day shines the glorious rays of hope, as the body of the treacherous Mohammed there lies dead. The President has done well in getting rid of this awful threat from France, once and for all, although his actions were certainly not the most heroic. How do you feel about the President's actions, sir?
Alright. I'm not sure how I feel about his actions. However, I do feel that he acted too impulsively when he sought to kill Mohammed for Maurice. Even though I could feel his anger, offering the leader of Al-Qaeda all his possessions and even his position as president in order to persuade him to fight was a little foolish, as he wasn't thinking at all about how this offer would affect the rest of France. In my opinion, the most respectable thing for President Rodrigue to do was to leave the law in the court to do with Mohammed.
Interesting. That would indeed be a much more rational decision. Why do you think, sir?
Well, I believe that President Rodrigue was highly dishonorable and out of line. No leader of any country anywhere should decide that it should be him who kills the villains and takes the law into his own hands. He went way outside of the boundaries of his power and should thus be removed out of office.
I see your point. Maybe the President isn't as much of a hero as everyone thought of him to be. Alright, let's hear one more opinion of the situation. How about you, sir? If you were in President Rodrigue's shoes, what would you do?
Well, being a loyal and determined companion, I would do exactly what the president had done. If somebody had killed my friend by cheating, I would erupt with thoughts of anger and revenge. The first on my mind would be to kill Mohammed and no regrets, especially if it was my friend's final wish.
Thank you. And now as this day comes to an end, it is still a mystery of what will become of the President when he is found. But one thing remains certain. We shall forever mourn the death of our great Prime Minister, Maurice Beyrou, while celebrating the end of Al-Qaeda's destruction. May this day mark the beginning of peace and prosperity to France. This is Hugo Valdez, signing out.
4 months have passed since the incident between the nation's government and Al-Qaeda took place, and President Rodrigue has yet to be found and interrogated. It has been decided that if the president is ever to be found again, he will no longer serve in office after his dishonorable actions when facing Mohammed. Although not much is known on the president's fate, reports have confirmed that Al-Qaeda has been disbanded, never to take life on another person away as they rot in prison. Several rumors have started to spread on what happened to our former president, the most common one being that he committed suicide to join Maurice in death after completing his wish. It's depressing to think about what might have truly happened to Rodrigue Marcel, but his heroic deeds shall be passed down history even if the president didn't necessarily take heroic steps to reach that point. This is Leo Fisher reporting for the last time on this tragic case.